And we are live. Well, thank you everyone for being part of this lovely webcast. Mo and myself, we teamed up to get to the bottom of the technical sales careers, and I'm happy to announce that this week we'll be talking about not only those roles are what those roles are about, but also what are the skills needed, the responsibilities that come with every role, and more importantly, toward which future we are going to when it comes to those tech sales careers. Hi Mo, how are you? How are you doing today?
All good, all good. How about you? I'm really glad to
Amazing.
be here with you.
Long time no see, huh?
Yeah.
Right. So Mo, I know you from work. I know you from Microsoft. You've been a great colleague and a great leader to work with. You've been always inspiring when it comes to leading conversations with customers and helping the team elevate their technical game. So this is an opportunity also for us to learn from you and your perception to the technical and digital sales roles that we have. So Mo, what drives you today? Who are you?
Yeah, I'm just so for Mo Saleh, that's my name. I'm a senior solution architect at Microsoft. As Farouk like mentioned, we worked together. We had like a very nice chemistry during the enterprise time. I used to look after the enterprise customers in their Azure migration journey, basically. Uh, working with you, with the the sales team, to 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 successfully provide a smooth migration or modernization journey in the Azure cloud space. Yeah, so and of course working with you as a technical AE, like you were one of my stakeholders, collaborating together on the customer engagement, and it was like really a lot of fun. So you tell me about yourself. What have you done with
I
Microsoft?
hope it's been a pleasure. I mean, I've been around account executive or technical account executive roles for some time here, and I love the role from the set of skills that we are developing regularly, but more importantly, the close relationship and the value that we bring to some of the most strategic organizations on the planet. And frankly speaking, I owe it to you, to many people on the floor who were really helpful and supportive throughout the recent years, especially with all the technology and technical advancement that we are going through. Everyone's talking about AI, but let's not forget before that there was the push for moving to cloud, to digitize, to transform, and there was a lot of efforts to empower many organizations throughout the years. The
Absolutely.
topic of today, Mo, is really about careers, and
Yeah.
I am coaching and I'm trying to help. I'm also navigating myself the sales career or in the technical and digital space. So I thought, like you also suggested, to have this conversation once and for all for the benefit of everyone, including ourselves, to talk about what are the skills, what are the responsibilities that come with every role, but also what is the future of those roles.
Mhm.
So I do not have depth on the technical side of those roles. I've been always fan of staying on the business side. You, on the other side, you have affinity to to the technical responsibilities or technical depth that comes with, especially the most technical roles in sales. So if we if we reflect together, there is a lot of fragmentation. I'm not sure if it's meant to be like this. It's like natural evolution of things within organizations, is the strategy. But we have way too many roles. I see it makes sense in some cases, but for a single engagement, you can find 6 or 7 people at the same time
Mhm.
dealing with an organization. Let's think about having the SDR, having the account executive, then we have the technical account executive, and then we have sometimes the CSM, customer success manager, customer success architect, GTM on top of that. So, what do you think, Mo? In this case, do you think it is something that's meant to be, that works, or it? For most of organizations, we don't need this fragmentation, and the model could be more streamlined.
Yeah, first of all, like it depends on the segment of the customer, right? So how large is the customer? How many stakeholders? At the end of the day, all of these rules specifically created for the customer to support the customer journey, and we have to speak different languages. I would share one experience I've also learned from the like the technical sales and the sales team from you guys. Like my background is a professional services engineer, so my whole life was like Microsoft products implementing Active Directory Exchange and so on. That's back in the on-premises world, and then I moved to AWS as a support engineer, and then PFE as like in engineering at Microsoft, and then joined that team, which is the digital sales enterprise, and I'm a cloud solutions architect. One big mistake I have made and I've learned from you guys, it was about like I have to be very technical, very strong technically, but I
Mhm.
forgot about the communication skills. Like it's like
Okay,
the like one of the thing is this rules that you have mentioned is not a one-man show impact. It has to be
absolutely.
distributed across different across the different stakeholders. and
Uh-huh.
and the thing is, like my experience was like I was a shy person. I never opened my camera.
Uh-huh.
I found like I'm looped in a large sales team celebrating success and wins, and why these
Uh-huh.
people are doing this. And then I had to take a step back and then think about why we are doing this. So I had to understand the sales cycle, how actually the we engage with the customer, who are the stakeholders we're working with, and then what is my role and how can I support my colleagues and the customer. So it's not like only about the technical capabilities, but it's also the communication skills around it. I don't know if you agree with me on that, but that's
Yeah,
my point of view as a tech
not
person.
not only we agree, we exist here for a reason. We are not here just to, let's say, to be entertained technically. Technology brings a lot of fulfillment for the most of us, but more importantly, it exists for reasons to bring value to customers. Soft skills play a big role in that, between team collaboration, communication, technique, but also dealing with external organization. And I see you've grown in that side. I mean, you've been shy, all right, that's fine, but now you are one of the most renowned YouTubers, I think, in the Arabic-speaking countries, and there is a lot of people following you, and you are changing the lives, are coaching a lot of people on technical stuff. So good job there, in my
Thank you.
opinion. This fragmentation is sometimes it's confusing because and especially for some products, we don't need all those roles between, again, SDR, AE, technical AE, post sales people like CSM and so on. Um, but the most important piece in this, if you have fragmented roles, is team collaboration is key, regardless if we have 2 roles or 6 roles leading in the same business opportunity. So it's really having the skills of being part of a team, elevating the team, leading a team, stretching beyond the role or the blueprint, because there is always someone behind. There is always a gap that we need to fill. So these are the qualities and the skills that are needed in this kind of space, the technical sales, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
absolutely.
So it's regardless, really. Sometimes I feel it's not needed, but we need those skills. And let's talk about the first role, all right? And we'll hand it to you here. This is a role that you know really well. The first role in technical sales, and we take them probably from the most technical to the least technical here, right?
Mhm.
And the first role that we'll be talking about, Mo, and you know this role really well, is the solution engineer.
Mhm.
It can be pre-sales lead. It has different flavors to its name. But this is one of the roles that many people um, are targeting for their careers, and many people that we know in those roles are thriving. All right.
Mhm.
So, solution engineer. What is it? What do you think are the main responsibilities of this role and the skills that people need to develop to
Yeah.
be a solution engineer?
It's a pre-sales role, right? So when it comes to the the staging, like the sales stages, basically you it depends also how you're gonna be like a solution engineer for which segment again. Are you gonna be specialized or generalized solution engineer? So solution engineer normally you're gonna cover specific technical area, like for Azure, let's say apps infra, security, or
Okay.
data and AI, or maybe you're gonna do cloud and AI, which is more a generalist role. So you're always gonna hear the AI term, which we will come later on the show, like to talk about this. But not generally speaking, we
Mhm.
this person is basically working with the account executive, working with the sellers, like to be able to unblock any technical difficulties that they might have. So normally customers might have some interest about specific opportunity. Let's say, oh, we're looking to do a data center exit, and we're looking to do cost optimization. Here's my budget, here's my timeline, and so on. And then the solution engineer works hands on hand with the the seller and the AE to to unblock any technical difficulties. So start to qualify that opportunity and understand more about from the sales team and the customer requirements, and then start to work with the customer on on a specific technology. Like okay, is it modernization is right, or is it
Mhm.
should we do lift and shift, and is it they are really working on these doing demos, presentations, execute proof of concepts as well, so all of this kind of stuff the solution engineer handles.
Mhm.
So basically it's a pre-sales role that
Sales, love
yeah.
it. And what do you think is the top three, five skills that someone in this kind of roles has to develop or will develop eventually by staying in these roles?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, you need to have like a customer facing role skills. That's I think that's
Mhm.
top notch. You don't need to be scared from a customer, and you need to
Okay,
be a true team player. I
love
think
it.
one of the the most questions that we always ask is what you're going to do in the first month of your role. Like you need to understand your stakeholders around you, their KPIs and your KPI, and so on. The second is it would be very nice if to have like a broader knowledge of the cloud in general, choose a cloud provider basically, and then since I work for Microsoft, so you need to know the Azure administrator, the this kind of certifications, Azure solution architect, if this is going to be your aim. So kind of a broader understanding of the cloud and cloud
Good.
migration, cloud adoption framework, all of this kind of stuff, and
Okay.
then be an ace, or a expert in one or two services that you might like in the cloud. So maybe it's migration, maybe it's going to be security, maybe something that you can cover in depth,
Okay.
to also to provide that technical value. And also you need to be able to be a demo master. Okay, so you need to know how to present a content, but also to run technical demos according to the discussion. Like let's say you're talking about, oh, this VM 1234, okay, let's create a virtual machine and then show that
Okay.
customer, okay, the experience, or this is the Azure Migrate service that you can run an assessment, so this is what it looks like. So at least you give them kind of the know-how, or the the brief understanding of of that technology basically. Yeah.
Love it. So, so it's fair to summarize what you just said. So we are talking about having the ability to do discovery with the team, leading sometimes the discovery at certain point, to be able to design the architecture, to tailor demos, to do POCs or POVs now. We are
Yeah,
talking about an answer basic or like, let's say, level one questions around the product, around its security, the compliance, the cost, probably, right?
of course. Yeah, cost we
Another
forgot this.
role that comes, which is, I find it comes like very similar, but on the post sales side. All right, once the organization acquires the solution, is the the CSA, Cloud Solution Architect, and this is a role that exists in hyperscalers. We're
Mhm.
talking about the top three, usually Microsoft, AWS, Google. So what is the difference between, in terms of what is it role, what are the responsibilities and the skills needed compared to the solution engineer, the role that we just mentioned? So
I think
CSA, which
it's a
is your
stronger
current role.
it's a stronger, yeah, it's a stronger engineer, I would say. I don't want to mention that I'm stronger, but it's more of like you need to really now qualify what they are talking about, right? So the customer come with a specific budget, they come with the
Mhm.
specific timelines and a specific goal, right? So let's say now we have a customer that would like to do a data center exit as soon as possible, like 6 months. You have to decide which type of service you're gonna move that customer. So I have to make sure that this customer is basically, do they know Azure? Are they skilled? Are they going to do themselves the migration project, or because they want to exit as soon as possible? So we cannot talk about modernization here. We have to move the customer as soon as possible. And the budget here comes to the other layer is, if they have budget, maybe they are very skilled on VMware on premises, but they are not skilled on Azure. So we will move them first to Azure VMware Solutions because
Mhm.
this is what they know. So they just want to move as soon as possible. I will not talk about modernization. I will not talk about anything. So
Love
these
it.
kind of decisions, you start to,
Okay.
like, as a solution architect, you have to map, like, the whole whatever you have got from the solution engineer, from the SSP and everything, and then you make a decision based on the business and what's best for the customer from a technical perspective. And then after you make that decision, like, you start to really dive deep into the architecture. What is the reference architecture is going to looks like, like, how many workloads are going to be moved to the cloud, what kind of landing zone. So did we introduce the cloud adoption framework? Who's going to, like, since they are talking about 6 month migration, for example, if they are like, I've seen it a lot in migrations, like some customers, they choose, oh, we will do this migration by ourselves, but then they end up with, they are late, and then it's a big problem. So this is your job to do that governance, like to say, okay, hey, Mr. Customer, I will set you up for success. Maybe let's use the programs inside Microsoft. Let's engage and work,
Okay.
collaborate with the partner, like, to do the deployment. So my goal is to make sure that they successfully deploy Azure in the best way, according to the best practice, also according to the budget that they are specifying, but also achieving their goals. So we define, like, what success looks like, all of these kind of stuff. So this is basically, like, the job of the cloud solution architect is deeper technical. You could be
Love it.
specialized, like, when I was with you guys, I was apps infra security. When I moved to a different team, I was apps infra security, data and AI. So it depends, like, like sometimes you engage in a very early stage where maybe the technology, like many people, they don't cover it, so they need a solution architect to work. Or maybe it is just like, it's good to be there from the beginning because it's very strategic customer. Again, it depends on the customer side. Yeah.
Love
So
it.
I hope that was clear.
Yeah, it was very clear, and I see the passion in your eyes when you start talking about this role. I think you are meant to be in this role for forever, probably, Mo. Look, it's one of the most critical roles that we have. It's really important to have. Otherwise, organizations, most of the projects will not be successful if it's not meant for a CSA who's picking the project after agreement with the customer and do the right thing to make it work according to the vision of the customer. Um, I'm not sure if you want to compare the solution engineer to the CSA, but in my opinion, when the solution engineer is like more of a hunter in a way that the person gets in a specific time frame to do their thing, probably nurture the opportunity
Yes.
with the customer and move on. The cloud solution architect is more of how to call it, a mix between a technical and a relationship manager,
Yeah.
in a way that the engagement with the customer tends to be much more longer, and and also the engagement needs a lot of how to call it, in terms of stakeholders, to deal with a lot of stakeholders internally within the customer. What do you think about that? Is it a fair
Yeah.
assessment?
Yeah, it's they overlap, like absolutely they overlap on certain stages. And I think sometimes I see like maybe solution engineer, maybe they would
Mhm.
like to become a solution architect, but I see is they just engage on different sales stages. Both they are very important because it is it is the tech, at the end of the day it's the technical arm for the technical AE, for the like the SSP, like that they can lean on.
Love
It's
it.
additional stakeholders that they are talking to the customer. And again, depends on the size of the customer. You might have one or more solution engineer with different specialization. They covered more depth, even more than the solution architect.
Mhm.
But also like it is also like kind of facilitating or simplifying, like the whole sales cycle for the
Okay.
customer, providing the best experience, while the cloud solution architect like provide extensive, like dive deep, maybe a technology specific, like that they can talk about this or wear different hats and qualify this and that, or maybe talk with the partners, or maybe see which programs we should use it with the customer. So you have like a broader
Good.
deep understanding of the customer, and maybe also longer relationship, depends, like as well. Okay. Yeah.
All right, good. And this remind me another role, right? Very similar naming. It's called the CSM, Customer Success Manager, or same thing, it comes with different flavors. And I can talk about this one because I work closely with the CSM, Customer
Mhm.
Success Manager, because it's also a post-sales role that exists in almost every digital or tech sales organization today. And the role is really to take care about customer success. A fancy thing. Um, this is really about onboarding the customer to adopt the new product or the new service they just got, enable them technically. Sometimes there is a discussion about change management, so to raise awareness, to create the desire, to equip or to upskill the team on the product, enable them to use the product, and create or work with the stakeholders or the decision makers, kind of a reinforcement plan. It comes with also quarterly business review with the customer, especially if it's strategic account. It talks also doing some health checks every now and then to make sure the usage and the product is well used in the way it was intended to be used. So from what I see, the most successful CSMs I worked with usually are really good communicators, not only with the customer but with the team. Sometimes when you're too much consumed doing sales, we tend to forget what is the main thing here, which is usually the customer, right? So the good thing is the CSM has the capacity always to link us to the context of the customers, and also they communicate internally well. They try to lobby, they try to within the organization to make sure that the product is used well. They are really great in change management. They are really great in kind of, sometimes they have to do some light troubleshooting, what is the problem, and so on. And more importantly, as part of the sales organization, to spot if there is any way to either to expand the product, or there is another product that can be offered to complement what the customer has. So in my opinion is probably like the CSA here. The CSM, the customer success manager, is someone who not only protects the deal after closure, but it grows. It's key to grow the engagement with the customer by making the outcomes, the product, the usage real.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What is the experience that you have with CSM so far? Or Microsoft,
Yeah,
sometimes we call them CSAMs, Customer Success Account Manager.
yeah. So in like when I was a PFE, like I used to work a lot with customer success managers. Sometimes we call them technical account manager. At AWS, they are also technical account managers. Like whatever the acronym here, but it's like you'll find, like as you mentioned, like they are. I feel like these guys are the customer. Like I one of the employees over there, like they
Mhm.
always like align, also plan workshops for the customers. Maybe this in the next 6 months, maybe we'll do these workshops. Hey, can you work with them on like these are the things I think that it might be helpful. Then we, okay, let's do a scoping call. So he has like a lot of business insights about the customer. Also, he's responsible for customer happiness, like support escalations, maybe like maybe, okay, we need to work like on these projects. Can maybe I contact the, like the sales team, and then let's work on this. So he's like sometimes I feel he's the customer. So he is the point of contact, also to like to the customer. He's a door over there. But as you mentioned, like they are looking with many different things, like upscaling the customer, escalation point of view, and so on. That was my experience so far. Yeah.
Love it, love it. That's really great experience, and I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
Another role that we intended today to talk about is probably the cornerstone. One of the big ones that exist in tech sales and digital sales organization is the the account executive. All right.
Mhm.
This is to me is the CEO of the business. This is the one who owns the number, who owns the strategy with the account, he owns the rhythm with the organization. I've been AE and around AEs most of my career so far,
Mhm.
and what I can see is the main responsibilities of an account executive is always to lead the discovery, to define what value is for the customer, to plan to plan for the account, to plan for the
Strategy.
territory, the
Yeah.
strategy, the co-sell, the
Yeah.
co-engagement with partners, to lead the negotiation, the for to close the deal with customers, but more importantly, when it comes to accountability toward internal stakeholders, is to make sure the forecast is following the organization's aspirations. The most successful AEs that I have seen, they're
Mhm.
really, really good in what we call value modeling. They have a strong business acumen. They are really good with identifying or using the right methods to qualify the customer's need. We are talking about using the BANT, the IBM, budget, authority, need, timeline, or the MEDIC methodology, much more modern, especially tailored for consumption-based business. They are really good with an executive talk. They have strong executive presence when they meet with the accounts or they meet with their account team. They have what I call basic tech literacy. This
Mhm.
kind of person that can talk about everything, but without depth.
Mhm.
And that's very normal, especially in big organizations that have zillion of products. And they can bring in the right resource in the right time. He's the
Mhm.
CEO, he's the orchestrator of the team, and and also he's the one who's accountable for the business.
May I ask you one question for this one?
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
do they look like, do they look after Azure and software as a service as well, like
They look,
M365
it
products?
depends. Look, I know this is conversation is tailored a little bit to Microsoft because we both came
Yeah.
from the same org, but this is the person who looks after everything. all right, not just
Mm.
Azure, all right.
Okay.
Or is not. So, for example, in Salesforce, another organization, 3 or 4 years ago, they used to have different AEs. Now they change, so you have like what they call core AE, core AE who looks after everything, and then you
Mm.
have specialty AEs, specialized AEs for other
Mm.
products. Same for Microsoft. So you have the account executive who is looking after everything. He's kind
Mm.
of the vis-a-vis. He's kind of the person that the organization needs to talk to for anything, and
And what
then
do you think?
orchestrate.
And okay, and what do you think for, like, if somebody wants to become an AE, what is kind of like, if you're interviewing someone, you say, "Oh, okay, this is my guy. What do you think?"
I The first thing, look, there are different profiles. Some AEs are strong in hunting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some AEs that are strong in strategy. Some AEs are really strong in the relationship management side of things. Um,
Mm.
so it really depends on the account. It really depends on the territory. It really depends on the market, on the culture that you are dealing with. A great sales manager will know what kind of
Mm.
temperament he needs, they need for that specific role, for that specific territory.
Mm.
So you don't find the same AE, like the same temperament,
Mm.
across all AEs. Again, as I mentioned, some of them are really good with planning and strategy. Some of them are really good with hunting. Some of them are really good with relationship management. Some of them are
Mm.
really good with creativity. And some markets, some customers, they need this kind of profiles. Now,
Mm.
with that, the most common skills today I want to see in an account executive is to have a strong executive presence. This is the
Mm.
most demanding role. This is
Yeah.
the most
I
risky.
want to. Yeah, I want to stop you here because
Yes.
why there is a reason behind this, because in my YouTube, when I'm explaining Azure and so on, a lot of people just focus on the technical certifications on this, and they forget, that it's not about the technicalities only.
Yeah.
It's about what you are talking, the partner, or maybe a pro serve engineer or whatever, will not implement unless all of this, battle is happening, strong AE,
Let's not
strong.
forget we are not doing this for charity. We are here for a
Yeah.
reason. We are doing business here.
Yeah.
And yeah, people who are just driven by technical, they have their spot, their place in the org,
Mm.
but who pays the bills is business, and who leads the business is also important.
Yeah.
Again, you
Uh,
asked me what's the most important thing in AE. Someone who can have this executive presence, who's resilient,
mhm.
because they are on that forefront of any change that happen in the organization. If tomorrow we have to change our priorities and push for a product or service that is different from the one we used to push, the AE is at the forefront of that.
Yeah.
Resiliency, we are going through a lot of changes from the market
Mm.
internally. AE role, the AE is the most sensitive role to that, and the AE needs to have strong resilience. And as I mentioned, the growth mindset that comes with it, they need to learn it all. They don't take things for granted, and they need to lead.
Yeah,
You cannot
absolutely.
be an AE if just waiting for someone to lead in the team. You are the
Mm.
one that everyone is expecting to lead. Again, for me, it is the CEO of the team or the account.
Mm.
And sometimes, yeah, I think you wanted to stop me there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, that's why you, you had this sales book that you
Oh, yeah.
have created. You are. I really like your passion about sales. And I think you answered a lot of questions in my mind, and also for, the audience. I hope we we're running this session to let the people
Yeah.
know that cloud is not just about technical roles, but there are some other interesting roles that you might be fit
Yes.
in, you might like it. So that's really great. But yeah, please, can you also, that's since we mentioned your book, why did you create a sales book, and what is the purpose for? Like, give us a lot of
Okay,
like
so look,
yeah,
I will take just probably 30 seconds here.
yeah.
For some time, I was lucky to have a lot of coaching, a lot of mentors,
Mm,
and at certain point, I went through a lot of changes. Being part of a company like Microsoft, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for many companies out there, we tend to have a lot of GTM changes. I remember moving from perpetual licensing to subscription-based licenses. After that, moving from on-premise or products to SaaS-based products, and then we moved from SaaS to platform-based, and now we are moving again from platform or making platform AI driven. And those changes need a lot of resilience, and we raise a lot of questions: how to
mm,
always stay on top of the game, how
mm,
to be able to excel, how to be a high performer, how to stay high performer, because staying as a high performer is much more difficult than being a high performer for a year or two. And I was lucky
mm,
to have the right support network,
mm,
mentors and coaches to help me being a high performer and sustain that. And I had this conversation with few leaders internally, and
mm,
I documented so much that I
mm,
thought, okay, it's time now for me to make this as part of the book. And there was one reason is many of my colleagues, they were high performers, but also they had questions about if they can lead, or they how to be a leader.
mm,
And they mapped that to a title. Okay, I will be waiting for a promotion to become, for example, a manager to be able to lead people. That doesn't
mm,
work. You have to
mm,
lead, and then you may have that promotion, or maybe you don't need that title anymore. So the
mm,
subtle leader of digital sales for the people who can being high performer, and they can lead or elevate others without titles. That's the whole
mm.
story, and of course it's for sales organizations. So that's the whole story about the book. uh,
Okay, so please note for my followers, like it's one of the nicest sales book. It's in Microsoft offices. Like, we love that book, so
Thank
I
you.
highly recommend you to check it out. And
And
Farouk will give you a discount. So yeah.
yeah, I mean, for anyone who is interested in the book, honestly, it's like I posted my link in the in the webcast, but more importantly, it, it's really about being passionate on what you do, because it's not easy to stay in the stressful role like a sales or in sales for too long without having the right mindset. And it's really about developing the right mindset and sustain that energy and high performance over time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mo, one last role that we promised people to talk about is the go-to market,
Hmm.
right? And I need your thought. I need your thought about this, because it's really an important role. GTM, go to market, for me is also called product marketing or partnerships, is is someone with a mission to choose where they play and how to
Hmm.
win. It's more strategic role. I mean, by strategic, I mean it's more it's closer to the strategy than the field work. The responsibilities here comes with identifying the ideal customer profile, the ICP, do the right segmenting of customers or territories,
Hmm.
by vertical, by number of PC users, whatever. What is the messaging that we need to target every profile? What are our plans? Which partners for which product? What is the pricing strategy in that market? How we can enable the field team sellers to work on that.
Mm,
So this is the kind of GTM is kind of someone who is working behind the scene to make everyone successful. All right.
mm,
Now, why I'm talking about this? Because and feel free really to confirm, or especially if you want to object this, because with AI, in the beginning, I thought with AI, the roles that will be replaced or the roles that will be more sensitive to AI are the generalist one, and the specialist will be, or the specialized roles will be more resilient, or will be less impacted by AI. By less impacted, I mean will not be using AI a lot in the day to day
Mm,
in those roles. But in the last probably 18 months, what I'm seeing is um, AI is empowering everyone today to be a product manager, to lead marketing, to work with partners on co-sale strategy, on account planning, on to prepare your calls, your strategy, and so on. So every the AI is giving probably every seller more tools, helps with the research, with drafting proposals, demos, cost checks, and so on.
mm,
In my opinion, this will help, or this will push us to have sales wood where we have less or fewer silos and more GTM shaped
mm,
roles. We'll see less and less specialization. We'll have more and more generic or generalist role in
mm,
sales that can do a little bit of everything. I can see myself working on technical product marketing partners as a person in the middle, and helped by AI, by agents, and so on to do all my job. The evolution of sales is to become more of GTMs and less of specialists on the floor. The specialists will continue to exist for the most strategic customers, for the most complicated products, for some niche. But I think the direction is we are all to be kind of mini GTMs in our roles. Specialists again will not disappear, but they will become
evolve.
kind of
Yeah, AE plus.
evolve.
Yeah, AE plus
Yeah,
GTM.
A plus,
Yeah.
yes, A plus GTM, and you can do it all
Mm,
using AI. Definitely, this is not like true for every organization, but I think we are going towards that model in tech sales. So less handoff, more ownership, and one team that can move from a problem to outcome really
mm.
fast, and that's will become one person with a lot of AI tools around that person. What do you think?
Yeah, I
Is this like a statement,
look.
or you see
No,
things
no,
differently?
I see. Like, yeah, yeah, like I don't really like have that depth and knowledge in terms of the strategy or how the role is gonna evolve. But I think AI is going to change every role that I know. In my opinion, and as you mentioned, you're more empowered. You have a lot of things to do with AI, whether as you are a user or a AI developer or whatever. But as you mentioned, like every company will have its own strategy on how they will realign the roles and best use their resources. Plus, how can we leverage AI in every single stage? So whether it is going to be the sales, whether it's going to be the technical part. So definitely, I I how can I say it? I'm not in the. I didn't work as a GTM or as an AE to know okay if the role is going to evolve. But definitely, from my point of view, I see even us as cloud solutions architect is like we're using these kind of tools, researcher to search a customer. Sometimes we even understand a lot of things about the customers from the copilot researcher. We use the transcription to collect them. I'm no longer manually
Mhm.
noting the anything when I'm talking with a customer, which saves a lot of time. And there's a lot of things that has changed and my role become more easier.
Yes.
And then you will have more
Yes.
responsibilities. But of course you need also to lean in into AI. One thing I remember,
Correct.
on premises to the cloud was like a big change. Okay, and everyone back then they were saying, who wants to use cloud, including Microsoft, by the way. Like Microsoft was what, like the old leadership was thinking like who want to use cloud. Now everybody is using cloud, is is doing a lot of innovations and so on. Now we are in the AI era where like it's gonna how can I say it? It's gonna change everything, and then we have to learn how to adapt these tools. Even sometimes like I
Mhm.
do different calls with different people that, oh, they are not using transcription feature. Even it bother me because like, dude, like you're gonna make your life easier if you just start the transcription while you're keeping note manually, or if somebody is
Yeah,
doing interview, and
yes,
then keep saying, oh, this popular one when you're doing interviews, I'm going to look at this screen. I will write some notes. You don't need to do that now. Like you can focus only on the the
yes,
session that you and me are having, or with the customer
absolutely.
and so on. Yeah. So
But
definitely, yes, I see that. I confirm that this is gonna happen,
mhm,
or maybe it will evolve at some stage, but I'm not gonna be 100% sure how this is gonna happen. Like because
yeah.
you are the expert here. Like I would say.
Look, I wouldn't say I'm an expert, honestly, but I see it
Yeah.
logically. I work in,
Mm.
um, again, we don't work for charities,
Yeah.
so there is a reason. So for me, buyers do not buy features.
Mm.
Buyers buy certainty, they buy speed, and buy proof, and any way to optimize the process for the sake of giving the buyer the proof, the certainty, and the speed they're looking for
Mm.
will be shaping the sales model toward that. And I see
Mm.
um, a seller evolving into a full stack, let's say, seller
Mm.
who has a simple story, a simple plan, simple proof, clear price is the way to go. And you cannot have a full stack seller. Sorry, you cannot have. You will have a full stack seller, one seller who's been helped by
Doing
AI.
everything.
That's like the
Yeah.
that's the where I think we'll be going. I think
Yeah.
we reached the point where we be closing this. But before we go, I wanted to give an opportunity to remove because I am genuinely inspired. I am genuinely pleased or lucky to have you around because you are doing a great work in helping people, in coaching people, upskilling. I know about your success on YouTube. Not only you have seen it firsthand here in the office, but outside. So, how those enthusiasts, especially on the technical side of the sales org, can reach out to you or can benefit from the work that you are doing with and the impact you're having on many people's careers today.
Yeah. Can reach out to me, like that my YouTube channel and LinkedIn is always I always post pretty much every new video that I do. So normally I have like a weekly videos where I do record specific master classes, whether like right now I'm doing the Azure AI Foundry master class, RAG, prompt engineering, and so on. And then also I've done like other courses like Azure Fundamentals, Azure Administrator,
Mhm.
Azure Virtual Desktop, Azure Migrate, Azure BCDR, and so on. So
Amazing.
that's my niche, like what I enjoy. To be honest, I love sharing knowledge. That's I would say, like I feel like I have extra power, that work is not enough for me just to talk. I want to talk with something. That's that, like, you need
Yes.
to love it. That's what I would say. And the second is I do also questions and answers. So people comment on my YouTube, and then I do like 3 minutes short answer their questions about whether it's career, whether it's how they fix something, and so on. So that's pretty much like through my channel or through my my LinkedIn profile. That's yeah,
Love it.
that's I hope
Love
I
it.
answered your question. Yeah.
Yes. So let's all follow Cloud with Mo on YouTube, and stay in touch with you on LinkedIn. For me, also, I'm driven by a mission of coaching people either early in their career or people who are trying to keep the energy or become high performer in digital or technical sales capacities. So I always welcome everyone really to connect with me. and how to call it. And my links are on my LinkedIn profile, but also on some platforms that are specialized in coaching. I'm keen on helping. I always have time to help and coach and support. And also, I'm seeking for reverse coaching, reverse mentoring for people who can also inspire and help. I've been lucky in this position in my journey. I had many people who are helping me, and I'm keen on on giving back to the community, and also to help people who are still figuring out or they lost track of their career. Um, so, in the end, I think this is the moment where we thank our audience, right, Mo? Any
Yeah.
final words that you want to end the webcast with?
Yeah, I think I hope, like, like, think, first of all, if you like, reach to the end of this podcast, that's mean you either crazy about cloud topics, like, you're a crazy person, or you love Farouk. Like, so I just would like to thank you so much. Like, all what we do is try to clarify what are the cloud roles, that we work in the market today. I hope that was, like, this session was like really informative, and we will wait your feedback if you would like, more session like that to talk about something specifically, like whether it's a sales or technical or any others. But I think, yeah, knowledge is power. You need to like, specifically with the cloud, you need to be very flexible in terms of learning new skills, whether it's business or technical one. Don't just be have that mindset, like, again, I'm a technical guy, so I'm speaking to
Mhm.
my technical audience. Don't
Okay.
just say this is my job, right? So remember, it is not a one man show. It is a team collaboration
It's
work.
team spirit.
It's high, it's
Absolutely.
very evolving business, and things are, like, get changed every day, so you have to get used to that. That's since I started at AWS, that was the case. And yeah, and I just want to say thank you, and I enjoyed also, like, like this podcast with you, Farouk. Like, the chemistry, like, I love
It is. It is. It's
it
really
was
good.
like a
It's
very
really
nice
great to
one.
have different people, different backgrounds, and again, it's team sport either on sales opportunity or in this webcast. So I really hope that we added value to the listeners. We added value to anyone who is viewing this now live or later. And for what it's worth, please do feel comfortable if you want to message us on LinkedIn. Technical stuff is more really on Mo. Anything that related to business and sales, I can help in that area. Feel free to use any of our social links to reach out to us, or do reach out in the chat. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for being part of this. Um, again. Best of luck in your careers. Best of luck to make your careers fulfilling to you, to everyone around you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Mo, for joining.